pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's an echo coming from something.
Yeah, there is an echo. I think it's coming from Angel's.
Oh, maybe it was Angel
laptop.
talking.
Maybe.
Well, anyway, let's see if the secretary can do the roll call.
Okay, let's see, Mary Herman.
Oh, there's Rob Cruikshank. He's on Zoom too. Thank you, Rob.
Rob.
And we got an email from Rob. I just got it after I arrived here, saying his wrists were in casts and he still has a back brace. So, poor Rob. Yeah, and so I sent him the Zoom link. And so Rob and Angel are on Zoom tonight.
Okay.
I'm
so
glad you got it, Rob. Yeah.
Mary Herman, Angel Molina, Rob Cruikshank. Myself, Catherine Del Tufo, Beth Waterman, Bruce Barry, Caleb Frank, and Mike Gialti.
Here.
And our videographers and Maya.
Thank you. I sent everyone the minutes.
Yep, I move to approve them. Anybody want to go over them at all, or are we okay? It's been a couple of months.
I'm okay. This is from July.
Yeah. I move to approve them.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Now we have this sort of membership items and announcements. The first item, and this is partly for us and partly for those of you who are watching on Spectrum, this Wednesday at the Pine Hill Community Center from 1 to 2:30 p.m., we're having a recycling workshop. It's called Recycle Right, and it's free. It's an informative class about local recycling. So a woman named Angelina Brandt is coming from Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency, and she will be talking about all the ins and outs of recycling. What is recyclable and why things aren't recyclable, and why some things that are recyclable are better not put in the recycling, but better taken to the store for the bottle deposit, etc. It's very complicated and it's worth learning the details. But it's a twofer at the Pine Hill Community Center, because the Pine Hill Community Center has recently acquired a very large collection of Eileen Fisher clothing. Eileen Fisher is a New York City-based designer whose clothing is very elegant and upscale. And so you're able to attend the recycling workshop and take home a recycled piece of clothing. The Pine Hill Thrift Shop has a relationship with Eileen Fisher. They get the returns and some seconds, and some of it is new, but they get shipments several times a month. And they have a lot of Eileen Fisher clothing there at very reasonable prices. So you can learn about recycling and participate in recycling at the Pine Hill Community Center on Wednesday.
So that's Wednesday, September 20th.
Wednesday, September 20th, from
1
1
o'clock.
to 2:30. Yep.
Great.
You will learn, why can't all plastics be recycled? What does the chasing arrows symbol really mean? Are pizza boxes in or out, and more. So that's coming up, and we're sponsoring that. That's one of our programs.
So will we have a table there with any of our information, or what do you think?
Well, no, because
Okay.
she brings information.
Okay.
And all of our information came from them.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Just gonna say that.
But this is a good segue to the bank.
Right, okay, so the bank, Ulster County Savings Bank, Samantha has offered us a table again. Actually, I asked her if we can have a table, and she said, of course. So we have a table again in December. So the last table we had lasted for 2-3 months.
I know.
So that was great, and let's see if we can put some more information out there. Hopefully we'll have some more information to share with the community, and so I'll be happy to help take care of that and getting
Great.
that set up.
Great, thank you.
Okay. And that's more points for us, right?
Oh, more points, yeah, it's all about points.
All about points.
We still need points, yeah. Now, the NYSERDA Community Campaign. I circulated a letter from Simon. NYSERDA, as you know, has a parallel program to the Climate Smart Communities. So the DEC runs the CSC program, Climate Smart Communities, and NYSERDA, which is New York State Energy Resource and Development Authority, they run a parallel program called Clean Energy Communities, CEC. So our primary goal with CSC is to achieve bronze certification. But with the NYSERDA program, if you get 4 high-impact actions, you get a $5,000 grant. So we have very likely 3 high-impact actions that we've already done. So we only need 1 more. So for the NYSERDA campaign, they have this new thing called community campaigns. And I circulated the information about it to you. And we got a letter from Simon Strauss at Olive CAC, asking us if we would be interested in participating in a multi-municipality campaign for clean heating, cooling, community solar, and EVs with the aim of winning grants under the Clean Energy Communities Program. So he's sent this email, which I sent out today, so maybe you didn't have a chance to see it yet.
I did.
But the idea came from Tom Conrad in Marbletown and is being coordinated across several municipalities. So far, the city of Kingston, Marbletown, Olive, by Eleanor Peck. So just as for the CSC, and we've been working with Melanie Patapis, for the CEC, the state has a person who kind of helps us navigate through that, named Eleanor Peck. So I suggest that we agree to try to go along and participate in this with the other communities, since they reached out to us to ask us.
I move that we go ahead.
Great.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, Angel.
Can I get some clarification? What does community solar do?
Oh,
Well,
that's kind of.
we had a presentation from Simon Strauss about that. It's, and Solarize Ulster. That, Catherine's giving me this. It's where we would buy, the community would agree to buy solar power from a distributor. In this case, and Simon is with the Mid-Hudson Clean Energy Hub or something like that. So,
I remember now, thank you.
yeah, we'll find out more about it, I think, in the process of participating in this. So if everybody agrees, we'll agree to go ahead with that. That is probably going to require some work on our part down the line, but for the time being, we'll just sign up. Next up here, there is a grant program for building decarbonization grants from Partners for Climate Action. And I gave you the link here. It's for municipalities. So this would be really great for the town of Shandaken, for the library and the museum, 2 buildings they own in the town of Pine Hill. So this is something to keep abreast of. I think the deadline is later in the fall. And the only other announcement I wanted to make was that on August 30th, I attended the roundtable at Ulster County. And it was very, very well run this year. It was like clockwork. We were out of there just when they said they were gonna be finished. And there was a lot of information transmitted, and some of it was about this EV charging company that Bruce has been looking into. And as a result of going to that meeting, we have, I feel, really made a breakthrough in that
Yeah.
in that area.
I kind
if
of
it's-
wish that we had gotten in contact with them much earlier, but maybe they weren't available much earlier.
This is Green Spot.
This is called Green Spot. Green Spot, and you want me to continue with this? Or?
Yeah, sure, let's,
I spoke to Manuel, who's a representative of Green Spot. And basically, they're a turnkey operation such as INF is, that I've been in contact with, of the town purchasing some equipment themselves and owning it. Green Spot is a little bit different. It's a turnkey operation, but there's no cost to the community. The only commitment they ask for is a 15-year commitment to a parcel of property that they could put their chargers on. That is cancelable by both parties, as far as I know. They will put in, they can put in a level 3 charger, or chargers at the community center, and level 2 chargers at the firehouse. No cost to the town, 15 years lease, basically, and renewable after that every 5 years at a time. If they decide to pull out, they could take their equipment, but they will leave all the rest of the infrastructure in place so you can put in your own chargers. So the wiring will be in place, so on and so forth. They're all new installations, and they upgrade the installations as technology gets better throughout the 15 years. They wanted to know if there was an RFP required by the town. Now, RFP is a bid, putting something out for bid, but I said to them, if it doesn't cost us anything, how can we put it out for bid? Is somebody going to pay us to put, I wasn't quite sure. So the town board would have to answer
Yeah.
that question. I have no idea. The level 3's chargers would be a 75 to 150 kilowatt chargers, and the level 2's would be a normal 11,000 watt charger. So I sent Manuel photos of the locations, photos of I think I sent you all the same, so
Yeah.
you know what I sent. Photos of the locations, photos of the power supplies, the circuit breakers, so on and so forth, and they will do some research into that and get back to us.
just one more additional thing, the town of, Ulster County has signed a contract with them to do the installation of chargers for Ulster County. And they shared with us the RFP they sent.
Okay, yes.
And they sent out an RFP, but it was specifically for chargers that were installed at no cost to the municipality. And Green Spot was the only respondent.
Yes, because everybody else charges.
Right,
Yeah.
so they satisfied the RFP requirement that, is,
So what?
so she shared that with us. She sent us both the RFP that they issued and a copy of their contract. So, I don't think we're quite ready to take this to the town board.
No, not quite. I mean,
but-
he has to get back to me with
Yeah.
information. I'm also waiting for INF Associates, who is researching their turnkey operation and what it would cost to install level 3 charging at the community center and level 2 at the firehouse. And I already have a feeling that the level 3 chargers for the community center would run something between $70,000 and $80,000.
Wow.
That's after all the rebates and breaks. So it seemed like a no-brainer that the Green Spot charging system here might be a plus. The only thing we have to do is make sure that the town wants to commit to 15 years of tying up part of their property.
Yeah,
And it's really not that much. I mean, it's just a couple of parking spaces over the community center and a couple of parking spaces over at the firehouse. We went over the map, and he determined and acknowledged that we're in a desert of chargers here, and he felt that this would be a good place for them to put their chargers in. Yes?
Have they specified how much they'll charge per kilowatt hour?
Their website It depends on the utility. It could be 35 cents a kilowatt hour, it could be 55 cents a kilowatt hour. Yeah, I mean, there's a range, and that will change. They keep the profits, obviously, of what the chargers would be collecting. But I also understand there's a profit-sharing thing that goes on too, which I'm going to be looking more into and see if they share some of the profit with the town.
Well, I guess eventually we'll have to have them come and talk to the town board.
Yes, and he said they would be happy to do that either through a Zoom meeting or in person.
Yeah.
Margaretville, Arkville, Roxbury, Andes, all have level 2 chargers that are all free to the community, and I think as a draw to come in, charge, and go shopping, so this is just a little different, where it's a pay.
It's paid.
Per use.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, the first one sounds a little more appealing in terms of like just trying to boost the time that people spend in town and the opportunity they'll have to kind of spend more
Right.
time in town without it costing anything.
So if we owned our own
Mhm.
chargers at whatever cost it would
Sure.
be, let's say it was for everything $150,000 for everything that we put in, yes, we could supply power for free for them, but that means we eat the
Right.
150,000.
I just have a hard time believing that the other towns that have these paid for them. Like, I don't know what the arrangement was, so I honestly, I've asked, but I haven't gotten a response yet, so I'll dig a little deeper, because there's gotta be, either they got in to some earlier program, because they've been there for at least 3 years, maybe. So maybe there's some other program that they got into, or it's tied into a grant, I don't know.
Yeah, and I know at one point Tesla was supplying chargers for free to communities and to places that had access to parks and things like that. And so that I believe that program has ended with Tesla as well. So, I've got a few things in the fire here, and I'm sorry that it's taking so long to get the final results, because I would love to get this off our plate and onto the town board's plate and let them take it on from there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully next meeting I'll have a lot more information.
I just have a question about the exclusivity contract. Oh, I have a question about the exclusivity contract, whereas, like, all right, Mike has a private property, and if he wanted to install them on his property, is there any conflict with that? Or let's say Phoenicia decided that there's some other location in town that they own, that they wanted to install a charger. Is there a problem with a 15-year contract with Green Spot? And I know you may not have the answer to
I
that, but
do
it is
have the
something
answer
that
because,
immediately came to my mind when I read your first,
yeah,
letter.
and he responded to that. Did you not see the response?
maybe I didn't see the response.
Okay, there is a response at the bottom of that, and he said that exclusivity, there would be no, anybody else could put in a charger if they want to.
Even at the same location? I mean, at the Pine Hill
In the same
Community Center
town?
parking lot?
As far as I know, but we'll look into that further. Let me,
Yeah, I understood it as,
did you see his response?
I did.
Yeah,
And I think my understanding of it was that if the contract is gonna be with the town, because it's town-owned property, and that's where the exclusivity, like, no other town property would be able to, they wouldn't be able to contract with somebody else without going to them first. Privately, anyone can do it, though. It's just, the contract is gonna be with the town and
But let's say Pine Hill Community Center got a grant to
Right.
put in EV1 chargers.
right.
Would they say, you can't do
Yeah,
that
I
with
think
our
I
contract?
think that's a problem.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute, no. I was gonna actually bring this up because when we keep saying the Pine Hill Community Center, it's, the town of Shandaken owns the parking lot.
Right,
Correct.
The
And they-
community
So-
center is just next door to it.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So
So
that piece
the
of,
way I understood the answer to be was that on those properties, the town, they have a contract with the town on those properties. but any other private property owner could go with whoever.
Correct.
Whoever they wanted to.
But
Did you,
let's say
did-
that parking lot at the Pine Hill Community Center got an offer from an EV1 charger.
I mean, if the town had, the town would probably not be able to install.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a town-owned
it's-
property.
And the not that I'm that
Yeah.
knowledge in EV various chargers, but if they had an option to install because of an, the IRA,
Yeah, the infrastructure, yeah.
Reduction Act.
I have everything here, and I
Okay.
finally found it on email.
Okay.
So let me just quickly read this. To answer some of your questions, this is from Manuel from Green Spot. The agreement is a two-way commitment. In case of failure or performance, there is a clause where the town would be able to end the agreement with notice. Green Spot would be able to do the same if we deem reasonable to do so. The stations will be branded with our corporate logo, Green Spot, and our agreement, we have a clause where if we fail to resolve a problem within a certain period of time, you have legal recourse to terminate the agreement. Because of our unique business model, it is in our best interest to make sure the stations are operational and running smoothly 24/7. That's understandable. The exclusivity agreement would be with the town. If a local business, such as a gas station, wants to install their own chargers, they are absolutely free to shop around for competing bids, although we'd love to be part of that conversation as well. So I think that helps. So those were his answers to the questions that everybody had sent in when I sent out the original email. So, yeah, it seems, and you know, the other thing is, as an EV traveler myself, there are so many stations that are out of service that I appreciate the fact that they're investing their money to put this in. They're going to want to keep those chargers operational as 24/7 all through the year. So it's in their best interest to have them operational, which is, I think, a very big plus.
Well,
Where if we owned it,
yeah,
now if we went with another system
we'd have
and
to
we
have a
owned it,
maintenance contract.
they have a 3-year maintenance contract, but after that, you'd have to keep buying a maintenance contract to have it serviced, and it's not in their best interest to always have it serviced right away. So, we'll see. We're gonna have,
Yes, it's all a big ball.
yeah, okay.
Thank you, Bruce.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I also
Yeah.
heard last night that Ulster County is going to be offering grants for EV chargers. Okay, Angel, what did you want to say?
Thank you. In terms of the revenue sharing, I mean, because I don't see no upside that they're using our facility, right? So our land, we're gonna get title for 15 years and we're not gonna get any financial benefit from it aside from just providing a service. So, I mean, as far as the financial, settlement of it, I think that we need a little bit more clarity on that, just to see what we're in for, and
MJ.
get some revenue back from.
Right, I'm suspecting, and I don't know this for sure, that the revenue sharing would be with a private business, not a municipality. Taking up their space in their parking lot. I would suspect that like say this gas station in town wanted to put one in, they would have to get something back for that as well. So I'm sure that's where the sharing comes in, not necessarily with a municipality such as ourselves.
Well, when he comes, we'll keep looking, and Manuel, if he comes to a meeting, would be able to answer some questions for us.
I mean, can I just follow up by just asking, I mean, because we have to pay for the energy, so to supply the EV chargers, right? If they're using-
No, they would pay for the energy.
Say that again?
Green Spot would pay for the energy, in my understanding, yes. Because they're gonna take all the profit. So all we're getting out of
It's
it,
at no cost to us.
right, all we're getting out of it is, like you said, we're getting the advantage of having EV chargers in our community, so people will come here to charge their cars and frequent our businesses. And that's the only advantage for us. And it also helps the CAC in getting points.
Right. Oh, at the bottom line,
Bottom line,
Also,
All
at
right.
the end, it's gonna be the
I've
town
got a
board.
question.
yes.
yes.
Sorry,
I've got a quick question too, Bruce, maybe you already said it. What are the kilowatt ratings for the level 2 and level 3 that they're talking about?
The kilowatt ratings for the level 2 are 75 to 150 kilowatts. Level 3, rather, level 3, I'm saying, I say level 2, level 3. Level 2 is the normal 11 to 18 kilowatts, thereabouts.
Yeah, 9.6 is kind of popular, and 19.2, I think, is the upper end.
Right, right. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. By the way, the 75 to 100, they do make 350 kilowatt chargers, but most vehicles, batteries will not accept a 350 kilowatt, so there's no advantage of having a 350 kilowatt charger. Even with my Rivian, for instance, it's going to charge at a rate of 150 kilowatts anyway, so if you get that much out of it.
And it's nice, the level 3 is almost 10x what the level 2 is, so that's 1/10 for charging time.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, very quick, very quick.
all right, if there ain't no more questions about EV charging tonight?
Well, I just wanted to say, we can do all the research, but in the end, it's gonna be the town board. It's
Yes,
gonna be
Well,
something.
isn't that everything that we do? I mean, that's true of everything we do.
yeah. But if we can present them with, well, I mean, Bruce is actually presenting them with two
Well,
possible
three options,
choices.
actually.
Three options.
Yeah, ChargePoint, I'm still,
Okay.
ChargePoint is another
This
leasing,
is-
that's a leasing option. There's a leasing option, a purchase option, which is a turnkey purchase option, and also this green spot option. So we'll give them three options and see what they want to do.
We'll give them four, we'll give them the do-nothing option.
No, and I think that would be great at a town board meeting, you know, because a lot more people watch the town board meetings, and
Yeah,
I think we need to educate the public on this.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone. Hi, MJ, nice to see you.
I thought I was late, and I was like, oh, did it start at 6:30?
It did,
Can I go back on one thing?
sure.
It's all the way back to last month, and that's the film Just Eat It.
Yes, I wanted to get a report on that.
I think,
6:36.
Excuse me.
that's all right, that's okay. Last August 20th, we had a showing of the film Just Eat It. Why'd I point to you?
I don't,
Because you set it up.
You set it up, that's
I
right.
teed it up, but you did all the work.
Well,
Which is perfect.
it was a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, and who the heck wanted to go to a movie on a beautiful sunny Sun? But we did have an audience of about 13, maybe 14 people, and they loved it, absolutely loved it. The film was fantastic, and I think we should do it again on an evening sometime, if the Playhouse would be willing to allow us to do that
Yeah,
again.
it's, no, I speak for the board, I'm sure that nobody would have a problem with it. I just will say that, you know, the provider of the film strongly suggested we do it at that time on that, you know, on a Sunday, right? Was it Sunday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
And I think from past experience for them, they had done it just prior in Saugerties, and they had a decent turnout on that time period. You know, Phoenicia's not Saugerties, so maybe an evening would
You just seem
work.
to do it during, on Thanksgiving time, you know, right around.
Yeah.
that would be awesome. You know, but it was really a fantastic film, and I think that we should try and get it done again. I'd be happy to work on that.
great. Let's
And
do
see
it.
if we can schedule a time to do it, if we can get the rights to do the film again. And
Yeah,
that's,
they are
They-
happy to show it. It's
They,
not, that's not an
they will
issue.
give it
Yeah,
to
that's
us.
not an issue.
okay,
We're doing very close partnership with Ulster County Resource Recovery
yeah.
Agency, getting closer by the minute with those people. And I also just wanted to say that it would be really good to show it when we start our food waste collection program.
That's a
And
better-
do it
that's
as
a much
part of
better
the
tie-in.
education process with that. And I don't know exactly when that's going to start, but the equipment is on order. The bear-proof container,
Oh, wow.
The new composter has arrived. We just are writing a legal agreement so we can loan it to the farmer who's gonna do the work. And so we're getting, step by step,
Well, then
closer.
let's coordinate that.
Yeah, let's coordinate it with that,
Maybe it can't all fall around Thanksgiving.
yeah. It might.
Mm-hmm.
We could have a happy Thanksgiving food waste collection program.
There's definitely something there.
Get off to a roaring good start. Okay. The action item tonight, and I don't know if we can do this tonight. We may have to have a workshop or something to go through this document, which I sent out as homework. It's called the Government Operations Climate Action Plan.
Right.
And it was in a draft format. As you know, this was the process of we had 4 Zoom meetings with Melanie Potapis. We interviewed the highway superintendent, the town board members, and others, and about how we can reduce greenhouse gases that are produced by the town. And this is the second in a 3-phase project. The first phase was the greenhouse gas inventory that we did of all the greenhouse gases that the town produced in 2018. And now we are working on this Government Operations Climate Action Plan. And then the third and final phase is the Community Action Plan, and that is starting at the end of this month. And I think Catherine and Bruce and Angel signed up to participate in that. And if anyone else wants to join, let me know, and
It's
I'll,
next Thursday, a Zoom meeting at noon.
that's right.
When is it?
We start next Thursday. The meetings are 9:28, 10:19, 11:09, and 12:07. And it's from 12 to 1. Those are the meeting dates.
And
So
what was the last one? It was
12:07. So do you want to sign up, MJ? Shall I send you the info?
Yeah, that'd be
Okay, sign up.
11/9, I see.
Okay, great. Now, the people who participated in this document, the second phase of this 3-phase project, were me, MJ, Caleb, and Angel. And we had 4 meetings. And the document, to summarize it, the town is in a very awkward situation because our town hall and our highway garage are in the floodplain. And to invest money in solar for this building or any other form of new HVAC or anything like that is really not feasible. So until the town can find a new location for the town offices and the highway garage, I really feel we have to focus on the other buildings that the town owns and get off fossil fuels. So that would be the Pine Hill Library and the Shandaken Museum. And that's what's proposed in this report.
May I ask why not the firehouses?
Those aren't owned by the town.
And the same thing with the library.
The-
Phoenicia.
What library? Phoenicia Library is built to passive house standards and uses no fossil fuels, and it's not owned by the town. It's the Association
So they're
Library.
in
But it is
compliance.
a model
Yeah.
of greenhouse gas, lack of greenhouse gases.
But if we're be able to put charging stations at the Phoenicia Firehouse, isn't that a town property?
The firehouse is town
The
property.
Pine Hill Fire Company is a private organization, and it's left over from being incorporated.
All right, but
But I
You
don't
know,
think the other
I don't know the
firehouses-
answer to this, but
Yeah,
if
the-
Peter comes back,
Yeah.
we'll ask Peter, okay?
Did Peter, was Peter here?
He came and then he departed, but maybe he'll be back.
And so these meetings, 9:28, 9:19, 11:09, and 2:07 are online
Yeah, they're Zoom meetings.
Zoom meetings?
Yeah.
It's in the-
Right. So, did anyone did everyone read this document?
Yes.
Yes.
I did read it, yeah. but-
Okay. Do you have any comments?
Well, I just asked one about the Pine Hill, or
About
the Phoenicia Firehouse
Well-
property, but,
There's something that makes that not on the town facility list. We did the town facility list, and it's in this report, and that's what we used for the greenhouse gas. But the fire companies are not on that list.
when is the next GHG inventory scheduled for? Because it was 2018,
We
which was
did
prior
it
to
we
COVID.
did it in 2022, we'll do it in
Oh.
5 years.
Oh, in 2022 as well,
Yeah.
okay, I don't remember reading
We
that.
didn't do the 2018
Was the baseline.
inventory was done in 2022. We looked back
Okay.
at 2018, because that was the best
Baseline
year before COVID.
Mhm.
And so that was done in 2022. So in 2020, 5 years, 7, we'll do another GHG inventory. So we're off the hook. for-
Okay,
for-
okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Well, since we can't do the buildings, we can, what about doing other actions like, and I'm not just picking on the highway department.
Yeah.
It's only because I have knowledge of this because of my husband. Like the state and a lot of municipalities will work 4 10-hour days. And they save a lot of money that way. And it saves money in travel expenses when they have to travel different jobs and just in the whole scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have rules like, I went out and I spoke to one of the town workers about why the truck was idling. When they were doing their work, they left the truck idling.
Mhm.
And this particular worker was unaware that it was a diesel truck and it's actually illegal in New York
Mhm.
State to let it idle for more than 5 minutes. But why would you leave your truck idling for half an hour? And
Well-
I'm just wondering if, like, other efficiency programs could be put into, like, every department.
Well, the anti-idling policy is a good policy to suggest in the implementation
Mhm.
phase
Yeah.
of this document. And the other policy that I think would be useful to suggest is this green purchasing policy.
Right, and it's like, maybe the highway department can't buy trucks, and the other trucks, other town vehicles.
Well, like police cars and
Yeah,
ambulances,
yeah, they could.
they remain
Well,
idling.
that was proposed in here,
Okay.
that we, there's a list of short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals.
Okay.
And the short-term goal,
This one jumped out to me, but,
the short-term goal was to purchase four hybrid or EV vehicles to,
And as new vehicles become available
Yeah.
for the.
right, yeah, I get that,
That's a-
yeah.
that's a-
2 gallon a mile, 2
Yeah.
gallon a mile, or
yeah,
whatever it
Yeah.
was.
that's in the long-term goals, replace heavy-duty vehicles with EV or hybrids as
Right.
they become available. But in the short-term goals, it was reduce the number of vehicles, adopt a policy to replace trucks with newer fuel-efficient vehicles, convert 4 vehicles to EV or hybrid.
And I just know there's a, like, I read this years and years ago, UPS drivers do not make left-hand turns.
Right.
They set up their routes so they only make right-hand turns, and that saves a, and I use that when I go to Kingston. Yeah.
You must go around in circles a lot.
Oh,
Well-
yeah.
We have a
avoid
very
left-hand
linear
turns.
system here.
Because you're idling,
I'm always going out the left side.
but you're idling, you're sitting there idling, waiting to make a left-hand turn.
Would those 4
So if you
vehicles
do it
being
in the
replaced to
opposite
electric,
way, you just go.
in the short term, would they be like light duty, like sedans and hatchbacks, or would they?
Yes,
be-
yes,
Yeah, okay.
you know, or police vehicles.
See, I think police vehicles and ambulances remain idling for safety reasons.
That I know.
Yeah.
They have to keep, the
They have-
police vehicles have to keep it because, so the computer keeps running.
Right, exactly. So there's
They
a
shut it
reason
off
for
the-
that, but if they do switch to EVs eventually, then that solves that problem.
Right, they would probably have battery backup.
Plenty of battery power, yeah.
I don't think in the short term there's electric ambulance, vehicle bases, like in, I don't know, like an E550 equivalent or something. I don't think there's electric versions, but definitely for police vehicles. I know they made like a few Mach-E's into police vehicles and even a few Model Ys. But I don't know about ambulances.
Well, you know, there are electric vans that are out. Rivian has their electric delivery van, which they're now opening up to other uses besides Amazon. So you will see them in the next year or so, for sure.
But I know like the 10-hour workdays, the efficiency of it is when you have to set up your work area. Now you're only setting it up 4 times instead of 5 times. And you just get your work done so much faster. And
So more efficiency in the trip,
Yeah,
I
Well-
mean, they don't have to travel very far, but
Well, as noted in the
Mine
document,
doesn't
that
have
the, police vehicles are all hybrids now,
No.
supposedly. Oh, I thought I read
no,
that.
not,
Well, then
No,
they're
they're
going
not.
to be.
we would like to
maybe it's
transition to that. No, they aren't.
Okay, I read wrong.
Um,
I'm wondering if we can suggest to local businesses, like where I work, which are privately run, whether we can send a suggestion to them as a town to not leave vehicles idling, because where I work, they just leave them running for hours and hours when they're enough space, and it drives me crazy. But, I don't know if there's any possibility that this town can make a suggestion to private businesses to do things like that. And maybe I'm just in a special situation. All right, this is a totally off point, not
Yeah.
off
Well, I
point,
don't think
but
it's off point.
it's not
because
off point, but it's really,
It's part of the big picture, and a lot of cities have, I think New York City has a
Oh.
3-minute idling rule.
well, I know they have the school buses shut down, which is great,
Well,
because they're
and
all diesel,
they
yes.
can't,
Okay,
Well,
sorry.
if the town were to adopt an anti-idling policy, that would be a good model for others to
Mhm.
follow. I mean,
Mhm.
I think it's something we can suggest,
Mhm.
but
In the
as far
future.
as the town can't mandate to look private businesses how they, you know,
Unless it became a law, and
Well, they
that's
have
very
it a law.
complicated.
yeah,
So
Is that kind
a
of the point?
suggestion.
thank you. So, I mean, the next step for this project, this plan, is to take out all the draft stuff, all the optional stuff that I think we don't need, and come up with a
Fine.
cleaner draft to give to the town board for their approval. I talked to Robert Drake about it, and he liked it. He said, you know, it's not set in stone, it's a document, and it can change, and we can review it, and we can modify it, and we can, you know, set goals for redoing it.
Is it the
But
type
it's a
of,
step in the right direction.
is it the type of document that should be reviewed every 5 years, like the comprehensive plan?
Or maybe even more frequently, yeah.
Because probably,
It doesn't need a huge, big update, it just needs, you know, little tweaking
So
here.
it's supposed to be identified as a work in progress rather
Yeah.
than a set.
Yes,
and
I think
especially
so.
with new technologies, probably.
yeah, with changes, I mean, and the whole document is oriented around the fact that we can't do anything with this building. So if something changes, if the town has an opportunity to find a new location, then this thing will need a lot of updating. So it's like a step, a first step.
Okay.
All right, so I'll try to clean it up and
Maybe they should switch with Glenbrook Park, make this the park area, and Glenbrook Park where the offices are.
I thought of that.
that apparently they have thought of some of that
Yeah.
too, yeah. I mean, I think they're working, they're thinking, they're looking, and they recognize the need. It's pretty, but, yeah, it's pretty
Is that
Com-
even
compelling.
something that we can suggest, just simply recognizing the need and, like, again, stating it so that it's
Well, that's
clear.
what this document does,
The
yes.
microphone's not needed. I'll turn it to you.
Yeah,
That's what this document does, it points to that,
so it's just
to the
that,
need.
you know, right,
Yeah.
coalescing that energy to move into the next direction,
Yeah.
that we can't do anything until we get a new
Yeah.
town hall,
Yep,
a different location for the town hall.
yeah. So, that's what shall I assume that everybody agrees we move forward with this and get it, take it to the next level, whatever that is? I'm not sure that's the town board, but we'll get it to the next draft level, and then, if anyone, if I have another meeting with Melanie on this subject, MJ, Caleb, and Angel, would you like to attend to talk about this? And it might be worthwhile for us to have one more meeting with her about it, to get her comments.
I'd like to be included in that, too.
Okay, okay. Well, then why don't I send out a Zoom link for everyone?
That's a good
And
idea.
we can all, and is daytime okay? Is 12 to 1 okay? Yeah, okay. All right, that's great. We'll have a meeting with Melanie, and,
Zoom is so efficient for that.
yeah, Melanie is a saint. Okay. Now, moving down the agenda, we talked a little bit about the I'm not gonna call it compost anymore, it's food waste collection program. And as I said, I met with Kurt about the signs, the equipment has been ordered. I asked to find out what the delivery date was, and they didn't have a delivery date. They just placed the order for the Barracuda last week, so we'll see.
Who placed the order, the town?
The town, you know, we got a grant from the O'Connor
Right,
Foundation to
right.
pay for this, so the town just didn't, I mean, there's a lot going on down there, and they don't really have, but they finally, they ordered it. And the composter is here, the new composter. Okay, what about what's happening with the comprehensive plan, Mary and MJ?
We're just still plugging along. We're waiting, you know, we're reviewing it and talking about it, and we can't really do concrete things until we get the grant and can hire a planner.
Okay,
Wait.
So,
There is a person that's to be hired, right? Or I'm not sure where we exactly are with the advisor, the woman that's gonna be helping us.
well,
with
I went
this.
to the town board meeting, and they opened the bids.
Yeah, so they opened the
The town
bids.
had sent out an RFP for a planner for the comprehensive plan, they opened the bids.
they opened the bids, but I don't think they decided.
They haven't decided, and we
No.
were supposed to have some people present, but they haven't come yet,
And
so.
Okay,
bids were so far away from each other.
yeah,
So, and then we don't have the grant in place
right,
to know how much money to spend, so.
yeah,
It really is a limbo situation.
yeah.
But we are reviewing the whole plan and looking at it and reading it, so we're much more familiar with what exactly in there and marking off what doesn't need to be in there,
Great,
so it's good.
good. Rob, you sent an email to all of us that came just before this meeting. Do you want to say anything about that?
Sure, yeah, we'll dig into it more at the next meeting, but, it's something that we can, share a little bit between this meeting and the next meeting to figure out is the message correct. And what I was trying to do, while laid up, I, did an analysis of the building here in Indian to figure out, sort of how many solar panels would it need if the oil system was converted to a geothermal heat pump? How much energy would the geothermal heat pump use? How much energy would our heat pump water heater use? And if you wanted to add a electric vehicle for, 10,000 miles a year, sort of how many solar panels do you need to offset that in order to create the balance? But as you may know, when sizing the solar system for your home, the largest amount you're allowed to put on is how much you're going to need on an annual basis. So some months you may use a little more, some months a little less, but the idea is that the panels are sized so that you end up producing as much as you use in a year. And not having the heat pump already installed, not having an electric vehicle already on the electric bill, there was some calculations to actually figure out, how many panels do you need to do that. So the details of what I shared, what's very interesting though, is that when you look at the credits for geothermal heat pumps and solar systems, you can get about half off what you're spending. And for this building that I studied, it was a 7.2 year payback. So, a lot of money, but after 7.2 years, you live in a building that costs you $32 a month every month for the rest of its life, which is just the interconnection fee. And I said $10,000 a year on an electric vehicle where they're charging at home. So it's a useful analysis that we could extend to people that are trying to say, convert from wood to a heat pump into a heat pump system, or from an electric baseboard to a heat pump system, or kerosene to a heat pump system, or propane to a heat pump system. So maybe there's about 5 different examples, including the one I provided, that would be useful for our property owners and our homeowners to be able to understand, kind of what kinds of numbers are going to make sense if I go to get a quote for my home, so that I'll be more comfortable and greener, etc., and have a lower cost system over the long term. So we can dig more into that. I'm happy to get feedback on what I circulated. Let folks see what they take a little time to look at, and I'm happy to walk through in more detail around the year together next month.
You'll send us a copy of that
No,
email?
I didn't receive it.
Oh, Robert sent it to me, and I opened it here, and so I haven't sent it out to everyone yet, but I will send it out tonight.
Robert, just curious, what size solar panel system was that? Was it a 10 kilowatt system, or?
Yeah, I ended up at a 39 panel system. It was going to produce 16,000. I'm sorry, the size of the panel is, I think it's right around 15 kilowatts is the 39 panels they would all on. And then over a year, that would produce 16,800 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
And that should be about what I end up using for heating, hot water, and it's $10,000 a year on every day.
Okay, thanks.
Peter,
Yeah,
did,
it's a really interesting calculation. There were not many people that could actually, I could get to people that understood some of it, but not other parts of it. And it's interesting to put it all together on one page, because it helps you see, sort of if I wanted to get out of burning oil or propane or whatever, what's it gonna cost me, and then how long will that take in terms of paying back the tax credits and things like that.
thank you. Peter, did you have something you wanted to say? No, okay.
Rob, our guest.
That's Robert Cruikshank
Robert.
and Angel, they're on Zoom. Maya, did you have something you wanted to say?
I didn't, but,
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I've only been here 2 weeks, I just moved here, to Phoenicia, and microgrids and community solar seem like it would be perfect for this area, especially when the power goes out and everybody's on fossil fuel powered,
Yeah,
backup generators.
yeah.
I've been kind of filtering through all of your meetings in minutes.
Oh.
So I'm just curious.
That's half of our audience.
Stand with, microgrids or community solar system. I know you mentioned a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's something that we
welcome to the
may be
community.
looking into, and we'd love to have you join us if you're interested. Yeah. Just working down our agenda,
Repair Cafe, is it?
yeah, I think we're ready for the Repair Cafe. How's that going,
That's gonna be
Caleb?
October, right? This month?
It is 10/14, so it's about, a little less than a month away.
October 14th.
Yes. Yeah, I have, I think, 3 things that I have to talk about. Some of them are like questions. So, Sue Wixon of the Pine Hill Community Center wanted to get a flyer because she's beginning to organize the marketing for the center itself. So do we have a plan for that kind of thing?
Do we have what?
A plan to like make a flyer, just like kind of PR?
No, but Pine Hill Community Center uses Canva,
Okay.
and Sue has made flyers for us in the past, but we don't really have a software program.
Yeah.
You can use their program, perhaps. I mean, I'm not really someone who can offer their program, but I think if you wanted to work it out with Sue, you could, but we don't really have a mechanism for generating flyers.
She asked if we were able to get a flyer together, so it made me think that maybe she wasn't planning on giving
Yeah.
us Canva.
Maybe she was just asking about designing graphics, and then she would be able to print it?
No.
No, she
No.
sends it out all email and social media and.
Yeah.
I'm not, no,
No, I think she wants a design,
Yeah,
but,
so I just organize that with her, then?
what?
So I would organize that with her, then we don't have a.
Well, talk to her and see if she can help, or if you can, I mean, I don't know this program Canva, but everybody says it's so intuitive, blah, blah, blah. Do you know it?
It's great, yeah.
I know Canva, it's I don't think it's so intuitive. It's pretty good, but it's a little sticky. Things move and they
Why don't you
disappear.
search for Repair Cafe on Google and just look at go to images and see if there's something that we can hijack.
Yeah.
And just change the dates and location on it. It might be something that might be the easier way to go
Yeah.
for the time being until we can, once this is established, then we can have our own logo and so on and so forth.
I'll figure something out. She also sent out a questionnaire just to get general info about this about the event. I had a few questions that I didn't know. She asked if we ever have liability insurance. Do we need that, or do we have it?
No.
No.
She said some of the questions might not apply, so maybe.
Yeah, I've done events
In other words,
there,
if we
and
do
it's-
something in repair and
Yeah.
blow up the place, are we liable?
Basically.
No, I've done workshops there and stuff, and it's just a boilerplate, everybody gets asked the same question.
Boilerplate, yeah.
So if you just say no, it's not
Just say
gonna
no.
matter.
Just say no.
And she also wanted to know if it's going to be ongoing. And I know that we hadn't reached a decision yet. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think, let's do one and then decide.
See what the turnout is.
Yeah. I mean,
What our success rate in repairing things are,
Yeah.
what the need is,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and then the last thing is, aside from this, we'll have the venue down, and then the big thing is just organizing the people to both show up, which I think I can do, and also the people to volunteer to repair. So I don't know, that's kind of a big thing. I'm not sure how to do, how to find people that would have skill sets for that.
Well,
So, does anyone have?
I volunteered.
Great.
There's one little complication, and that is I'm getting a repair done myself earlier that month to have a new hip put in, so I'm not quite sure how mobile I'll be. But, and I'm not going to a repair cafe to have it done. So, yeah, I plan on being there. I might hobble in, but I'll be there, okay? I've done repair cafes before, and I can fix, simpler items, not a computer or anything like that, but.
That's your forte, Caleb.
Usually these repair cafes, people come in with a lamp that needs a new socket, or a fan that needs a new switch, or, they're usually pretty simple things. We've attacked more complicated things and had no luck with them, but, the point of this is, don't throw away that fan, let's bring that fan in, or let's not, that coffee maker, maybe it's just a broken connection that we can fix, so, we're not looking to do some really complicated things. So, again, another suggestion is to have Joyce post this on the town website so that people know that the repair cafe is happening.
Yeah, and ask.
And to answer your question, do we want to do this again? I would say yes. I think that, the purpose of this is to recycle as many damaged items as we can and get them repaired and back in service again. So would it be once a month? Not necessarily. Could be once every couple of months. Yeah, sure.
Could be 4 times a year.
It could be whatever it is, until the need increases to have it more. So start slow and then grow.
The mending cafe is really popular. A lot of people bring in a lot of clothes.
Clothes, yeah.
And we also show them how to do it too,
Yeah.
so that they can do it on their own.
There have been repair cafes at the Phoenicia Library,
At the,
What time?
At Parish
what time
Hall.
do you have it?
a parish hall.
Let me check the calendar.
right.
Well, that might be someone.
I sent you the name.
Oh, sorry. The time should be 11 to 2.
11?
Sent him an
11
email.
a.m. to 2 p.m.
We
Okay.
did.
11 a.m.
Okay.
I
Okay.
tracked it down or something.
There's-
I don't know if you followed it.
There are many repair cafes that are happening in the area, and
There's
it's
a
not
network.
just not just the one that happened at Parish Hall, but I hear about them all the time in other counties, other locations, and it might be a potential idea for you to get in touch with some of them and see who they get to come and do the work, and see if there's a way to reach out to either those people or people similar to them in our location.
And I
That's
sent you the name of the coordinator. There's an
Right.
Ulster County Coordinator for Repair Cafes.
Okay.
And it's someone who, you know, organizes them, and she would be helpful, I'm sure.
And
To
our
help
town
set it
clerk
up.
is great at that, she's a treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, she got all these people to come clean up the museum, and she
But
puts
the-
the words out.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that there's a housing workshop, is that what it's called? Housing fair at the Pine Hill Community Center next Tuesday from 5 to 8. And there's free food, I understand, thanks to the 26th, September 26th, from 5 to 8, with free food, thanks to the
You know about this.
generosity of the local Phoenicia Diner. Yay, Phoenicia Diner! And there is someone who's going to be there, who's a friend of mine. His name is Lenny Millen, and he's billed as Ask Lenny. He can repair anything. So Caleb, if you can come to that housing fair at the Pine Hill Community Center next Tuesday night, you could meet Lenny and see if he would participate in your repair cafe. And I can introduce you to Sue Wixon, and, you know, we can take it from there.
Caleb, you're gonna need, somebody, whoever's gonna come to help with the repair, and I'm gonna see if I can get my son to come and join us. Bring our own tools,
Yes.
for a variety of kinds of repairs. So that's something that, if you get anybody else who would like to volunteer to do repairs, ask them to bring their own tools and things as well, because, it's needed.
Yeah,
It's great.
What time is the housing fair, or is it on the Panel Community Center's website?
It's on their website.
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Is what you said.
I can send you the flyer, I can send that out to the CAC, to everybody.
I'll find it on that website. Thank you.
Are those all the questions?
Yes, I think so. Yes, they do say that 25% of all revenue from the events goes to the center, for operating costs, but we're just being a complete,
Well,
nonprofit, just
I think that
volunteer.
you should just put out a donation bucket, and people will put money in that and give it all to the center. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have a bank account.
We'll pocket it.
If we get $5,000 though, we
Can we
will.
keep-
Buy another another compost bin. All right. I don't think we're gonna get $5,000.
From NYSERDA we are.
Oh, okay.
I'm determined. I want to see it. That's my goal for next year. Oh, anything else?
I just wanted to, and I have a confusing number of a Senate, New York State Senate bill, but there's possibly more than one actual, since I have two different numbers, of a Pollinator Protection Act bill that's being sent to Governor Hochul to stop, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it was stopping neonicotinoids being used in New York State, which are really toxic pesticides that are being applied to seeds before they're planted, and then it's decimating our pollinator population that go and feed on the plants, and then it kills them. But when I was at the Shandaken Dems event yesterday, I picked up these two. I probably should have grabbed more of them to hand out, but I didn't. I was thinking that maybe I could pen a letter to Governor Hochul and see if we as a group, a CAC group, would commit to sign it. I have to find out which bill number it is, or maybe there's two. But I thought this might be something we'd be interested in as a group, sending to
postcards
Governor Hochul.
Are intended to be mailed to the governor, and,
They have a different bill number than the one I researched
okay.
when I
But
was hearing about
The,
it.
this is, why don't you just read what it says on there?
Last year, the average New York beekeeper lost over 45% of their honeybee colonies, and 40 to 60% of the state's wild bees are at a risk of local extinction. Please sign the Birds and Bees Protection Act to help pollinators recover. I'm not sure if this is a different bill than the one I was looking at, but nonetheless, I will do a little more research. But I think the bill is gonna come up soon, and I will do some research, send out the information to you if you all agree, or whoever agrees. I'll
Well,
put their names on the,
I think the name of it is the Birds and Bees Protection Act. And there are two numbers here, but forget the numbers. Can we agree that we would like to encourage Governor Hochul to sign the Birds and Bees Protection Act? All in favor?
I,
Aye, I think it's unanimous, so you can write to Governor Hochul and tell her, on behalf of the Shandaken CAC, we strongly support her support of the Birds and Bees Protection Act.
We all want to learn about the birds and the bees.
and I have one other
Now,
ridiculous,
Bruce.
I have one other ridiculous question. This in the GoCap, I believe, document. The CAC was referred to as the Climate Action Committee, which I always thought it was.
Oh.
No,
We joined,
yeah, I know.
I'll
and
change
now
it.
look, so that was our misspelling.
Perhaps, I'll
Okay.
go, if-
Because it seems like it should be Climate Action Committee
But it's
instead of
not.
Yeah, well, it's
Conservation
not, and
Advisory
we've
Council.
we've had
Okay. So we are the Conservation Advisory Council. I thought maybe New York State had changed our name.
no, they didn't change our name, but thank
Okay.
you for noticing that. I don't know if that's,
It was towards the end.
if it's from their template, or if it's from my mistake, or what, but I'll try to find it.
Correct you, so I just thought maybe it was.
Well,
It
no,
always tripped off my tongue easily, too, you
Yeah.
know, it was like,
it took me 3 meetings to get it down.
I know, well, I'm still struggling with it. These are some handouts that I picked up when I went to that meeting in Kingston, if you're interested. And if there's no further business, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
what's that?
That Brooks shared earlier on, you had made a motion to adopt the CEC document, and there was a motion made, but it was never, forwarded from there. I just wanted to,
To adopt what?
I think it was the CEC document, that the first one to join with the other,
Oh, with the other towns. I did make a motion to,
Oh,
seconded or.
did you get that in the minutes?
I did not get.
Oh,
okay, so
all right.
I moved to join the other towns, whatever, in the,
I don't think we need a motion, we're
collaborate.
just in agreement to
Okay, all right.
move forward with that.
does everybody agree?
Everybody did agree, I
Okay,
think.
good.
Yeah,
Okay. All
I
right,
mean,
thanks for bringing that up.
yeah. I think everybody agreed that we should move forward with the joint,
There are so many acronyms, it's.
Community Energy Communities, Clean Energy Communities Action Discussion. Yeah. Okay.
CAD.
Don't confuse me, please. All right, 7:45. And I heard a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
One second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. The meeting is
Feel better.
adjourned.